Good morning, YouTube, and good morning, stations. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 14 minutes. I'm just getting on early here to make sure that we're on with the rest of the radio stations. So let me know if you're listening there, radio stations, the audio, and if everything's coming through all right. Let me know. As you can tell, I'm remote broadcasting this morning. And what else is going on? That's about it. So there you have it. State Fire Convention in Bowman, North Dakota today. We'll be going through schedule of events, some of the keynote speakers, and all that good stuff there. Mike Wagner's back at K-Fire. What the hell, man? Morning there, Mikey. Filling in for Todd. Appreciate it. Thanks for filling in. How's your podcast been going, buddy? I know about that. You've been interviewing all these celebrities all the time. KGFX, KOLY, and the rest of the studio stations. KCJB, let me know if you're all hooked up. KLTC, I know you're getting fed. Good. Good to hear it, Mike. I wonder. I got to make sure one other thing here. That is working. Andy Murdoch, slide over here. Since we're live, we might as well.
Good morning.
So there you go. Pierre's ready to go. Chuck Hansen's in there. Good morning, Chuck.
Mike Wagner, I haven't talked to him for long.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? He's famous podcaster now. He is. Like every time I see him interviewing somebody, it's some famous music artist. Let's see. That audio check. That's good. Let's see. Darren Munn. Good morning, Darren. How's your golf game been?
It was a hot golf tournament yesterday.
What?
It was a hot tournament yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. Really hot.
Kelly's helping me. I got triple booked for the 26th of June doing Calcuttas. So, I'm like, Kelly, I need your help.
So you sent it. So obviously you're doing HS or HCC in Hettinger.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I couldn't make that one.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Dirk Mack asked me.
We're getting ready for the convention at the high school here this morning, last night. And they said, well, we need to do a mic check. Well, really, the only way I know how to test a mic is to auction a little bit. And here's our keynote speaker of the morning.
Keynote speaker. You guys all have the same belts? Isn't yours the same one as that or not? Okay. Fancy. So you're the first 10, he's second 10 minutes?
That'd be perfect.
Okay.
Then I can head out.
Yep. Haven't you ever shot anything? No. Heading to Bully Pulpit. All right. Have fun at that heat. Dixie and Brent are going to Dickinson. We're going golfing.
Cops and kids finishing day at. Oh yeah, it's fishing derby weekend.
It's
That's what
free
it is.
fishing weekend.
Yeah, free.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
Bowman's got the fishing derby at the Bowman Haley.
Harmony Lake, 6 miles. Okay. Thanks for the info. Yeah, it's free fishing weekend.
Yep,
North
10 to
Dakota.
2.
That's right.
Lake by Hazen.
No motors, electric motors only on that lake.
So what?
Yeah.
No gas motors.
No gas motors. I know. Is that right, Darren? I'm pretty sure. That's what Jesse told me. You can go in there with your trolling motor, but you can't start up your regular motor.
It's not big enough. Lake's not big enough.
I don't know if it's the size of the lake. I don't know what the deal is. Same with Davis Dam is what they'd like to do, but if you
you're
haven't,
not going to scoot any more than 3 miles an hour across that anyway.
I was going to say, if you want to go wakeboarding, you're going to get up and they're going to have to turn around immediately.
Yeah.
Just do circles. Yep.
But it's good.
Trout and panfish. Yeah.
It's good trout fishing.
It is. Yeah.
Does anybody want a trout fishing tip of the year?
Well, you're a fly fishing expert now.
Yes. So here's the deal: if you're using just a regular cast rod,
okay,
take it's like a 2-inch water filled bubble. You can get them at Walmart, any fishing tack store you can find, but it looks like a bobber.
Yeah.
And you run your line through it, and you can fill it full of water.
Okay.
Fill it about half full of water. It gives you just enough weight to cast. Put about a 4, maybe 5 foot leader, and go find a Walmart or any fishing store, but just go get like a number 6 or number 8 hook with a black. They call them woolly something.
Okay.
Flies, but just a fly. So the purpose of putting the water bobber on it, the bullet, is to give you enough weight to cast it. But you can cast it a country mile. I mean, as soon as you launch it, it'll go as far as you let the line out, and then you just drag that fly, and you'll put a 4 or 6 foot leader out there, and let that fly sink down, and reel it back as slow as you can. If you've got trout in there, you will catch them. You will own them.
Really? Yeah. Reclaim mine land. Okay, that's why it's trolling motor only.
Gotcha.
Somebody told me use corn. That's Brenda Davis's tip of the year. Put a couple pieces of corn on the end of the hook.
I found that successful as well. Yeah.
I think in South Dakota it is illegal. I don't think some lakes I know in South, like Lake Ponset, Madison.
Are you afraid it's going to grow?
I don't know. There was some rule that you cannot use human food as bait. What's that? Corn, livestock food. Good way to look at it. See if the boys in brown and you will do that. I think you're talking about a woolly bugger for fly fishing.
Woolly bugger, thank you very much.
Yeah. Wayne Muth, he's got it.
Yep. Yeah. So get you a woolly bugger and put it at the end of a 6 foot leader after there's just a little clear bullet style water bubble, I guess.
Yeah.
You run your line right through it, and
I know what you're saying.
I learned that tip last year or 2 years ago down at Lake Pactola. And I actually had my fly rod, and I was waiting out there just in one of the bays for as far as I could. And
that's a deep lake.
It's a really deep lake, but there's a couple bays where you can walk out about 15, 20 feet, just enough to get me enough for casting, space. And walked out there, and I caught 1, maybe 2 just off of a fly rod in maybe an hour. And I looked across the bay, and here was this older gentleman, he mid 80s. And what he does is every weekend he goes and catches enough trout to cook for the people that live in his apartment that can't travel themselves. And they love fish.
That's nice.
Yep. So he goes and catches fish for them. Well, anyway, he was pulling them in left and right. And here we were working at it and not getting anything. And every time he put one in the water, he had it. But what I was really concerned or questioning is how in the world he was able to cast it as far as he was, because he was throwing it out there 100 feet or 100 yards. Yeah. I mean, it was a long ways. Just about made it across the bay.
Holy cow.
And so anyway, we went over there, and he says, I was wondering if you guys were going to come looking for tips. And we had our limit in about 15 minutes. All three of them.
I didn't know Pactola was that. I thought that was just mostly recreation down there, but it must be some pretty good fishing.
Oh, it's outstanding fishing.
Really?
Yeah. If you're looking for lake trout, the big ones,
that's where to go.
That's big lake trout fishing, guys. Yep.
Well, I got a fishing guide Kevin Vaughn is going to be taking me in July. We're going to go down and
At Pactola?
well, he said we can go anywhere. He usually goes out of Ormond for the most part, but we'll see.
I'd take the extra hour.
Yeah.
Yep, I would. But I know it's beautiful there, number one.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a nice
it's a
place.
gorgeous
Really
lake.
nice. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get down there, have a little fun. All right, stations, where are we at for time? 3 minutes.
7:05.
6.
7:06.
5 minutes of news and 60 seconds of weather, they usually do.
Okay.
You got kind of a itinerary of what's happening? I've had a few people say that they can't find it anywhere. I said, did you go to the State Fire website? They said it's not there.
I agree with that. It's not. They
Morning, Karen. Good to have you on KOLY. Thank you for letting me know you're with us. Stations, 60 seconds right now. 60 seconds.
It was coldest at 4:30 this morning.
30 seconds. Stations on mark. 30 seconds. $15 seconds. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard all across the Dakota Territory, like KGFX in Pierre and Fort Pierre, KOLY in Mobridge, K-Fire 550, the voice of the Northern Plains, and Bismarck Mandan, KCJB in Minot, and KLTC, the voice of West Dakota. I'm Scott Bachmeyer, and if you're watching on the YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio, please subscribe to there. And if you do so, you'll see I'm sitting at the Pfeiffer's Auction and Realty Western Team. Bowman, North Dakota is where I'm broadcasting at from this morning. So if you want to call in to the program, you're going to have to call my cell phone. You can also text if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, 701-425-6651. That's 701-425-6651. Andy Murdoch is with me here. And as you can see, we're dressed up, ready for something kind of special here this morning. Andy, what's the State Fire Convention for North Dakota, but also Montana and South Dakota, some of the rural departments are coming up too.
Yeah, we got a lot of border departments that are part of the NDFA as well. So we got the North Dakota Firefighters Association State Convention, the annual convention, and we were fortunate enough to be the host city for 2021.
How did you get that? How is that? Is that a bid situation?
It is. It's kind of a lengthy process. You go to, well, for instance, if this year they're selecting the 2022 and the 2023 host cities. Okay. So 2021 will be in Castleton, and back in 2018 we ran, and we got beat by Devil's Lake. Fortunately, Devil's Lake got the 2020 bid.
During COVID.
So they ended up having to cancel theirs. Yeah. And that was ultimately going to be our destiny if we had we won that election for last year. But then we came back the following year, went to Watford City, went to the state convention that year, and then we won the host city bid.
So what does a state fire convention do? I mean, what do you learn there?
Really, you're bringing everybody from all across the state. Number one, it's just it's a major discussion, and this is kind of the ins and outs of what happens through the North Dakota Firefighters Association. All of the kind of the back work, right? I mean, we've got the legislation side of it. We've got the insurance side of it, the statewide radio side of it. Whatever topic that the NDFA is really needing to discuss this year, this is the weekend they're going to do it. Obviously, the annual convention is a typical annual meeting where we re-elect or elect the new officers for the following year. So
how many of the departments in the state of North Dakota that you know of have paid firefighters on there? Is it mostly predominantly a volunteer?
Predominantly volunteer.
Yeah, except for probably the bigger cities.
There is. Yep. So you got Grand Forks. Yeah. Quite a few departments there that have some paid firefighters. Professional firefighters up in Grand Forks and Minot, Bismarck, Williston. I believe Watford City has some now. Okay. And Dickinson.
They do.
Yep. Okay. So it really kind of comes down to the full-time calls. You can't rely on a lot of volunteers for every call around the state.
No.
And the professional departments, they're an integral part of what we do. They're obviously invited to this deal as well. There's quite a few paid departments that have their say in the statewide. They're actually very intimate with the NDFA to make sure that all the procedures that are going forward for the future of the North Dakota firefighters is happening.
So we got a pretty important thing this morning, and something different. You and I were discussing this on my daily program a week or two ago. Is you're actually inviting a lot of the public to some of these events, and that usually doesn't happen. What type of events are we having here this morning and throughout the day?
Yeah, today's really the big day for the open to the public. It started yesterday at noon. We've got the Tunnels to Towers Memorial Mobile Museum, and it's basically an exhibit that travels across the country. It's a 52-foot trailer, roughly.
Okay.
Probably a 52-foot trailer that opens both sides and both ends and slide out. I think it's 30 feet wide by the time you're done with it. It's a little over 1,200 square feet inside of this trailer. Air conditioned. It's beautiful. And they came in from New York. We've got 3 New York firefighters that will walk you through the exhibit and explain, the history of what happened on Patriots Day in 2001. We're kind of molding our convention around the 20th anniversary of September 11th. So we have them, and then as well this morning we have.
No, is that free to go in?
It is. It's free. Yep, it's free and open to the public. It was open from noon till about 7:30 last night, and it's open from noon till about 7:30 again tonight. So I hope everybody gets a chance to come take a look at it. It's free and open to the public. Just walk down to the fairgrounds or drive down to the fairgrounds, park there, and walk up the ramp, and these gentlemen will take you right through it. And they're with the stories that they've got and the history that they can tell you in just a few minutes. It's very, very impressive.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people have forgot about 9/11 over the years, especially younger kids, I guess, anymore. But that's something that I remember where I was.
Well, absolutely.
I remember.
This morning we're kind of highlighting it. Everything's happening at the Bowman High School.
Yeah.
And what we were talking about the other day is that the majority of, well, not the majority, all kids now, none of them that are in
school now
weren't alive when it happened.
Right.
So it's really hard to get, to really explain to them how we felt on that day. And I know exactly where I was. I was actually in school. I was in school. I was a sophomore in high school.
I was welding at CP Welding at that time.
Oh, well, we were both in Bowman.
We were both in Bowman at that time. So what do we got going? Schedule events today.
Yeah, 8 a.m. this morning. We're open to the public. Everything here this morning is open to the public. We're going to start off with a grand opening of the convention. Obviously, we've got to introduce the members of the North Dakota Firefighters Association and officially open the convention, because their meetings are this afternoon and all day tomorrow. And then we got the state memorial service, which you're obviously aware of. You're speaker for that as well. And if you've never seen how the NDFA does the memorial service and how we've got this thing set up for today, it's nothing short of impressive. It is absolutely wonderful to honor all fallen firefighters throughout the state of North Dakota that have passed in the last year. There's 49 of them that we'll be honoring today. Immediately following that, we have keynote speaker Joe Torello. He was a New York Fire lieutenant. He was a lieutenant for 25 years in the city of New York City. His engine company was engine company number 10. It was right across the street from the South Tower of the World Trade Center. He was heading to a conference the morning of September 11th at 8:46 when the first jet flew over top of his head and struck the tower. He canceled the conference, run back to the hall, put his gear on, and was buried twice.
Isn't that? And he's here to talk about it.
He's here to tell the story about it.
Unbelievable. And you guys met him last night?
Yeah,
Talked with him a little bit?
He flew in yesterday.
Okay.
His flights were just kind of a nightmare yesterday. He flew out of Newark, New Jersey, 2.5 hours late, flew into Denver, just about missed his flight there. And then that flight got called back for maintenance, so it got delayed. Perfect timing. And so he finally made that flight. He's supposed to get here about 2:00 yesterday, ended up pulling in about 6.
You think getting buried twice in the Trade Center fires and your plane has to be turned around for maintenance makes you wonder sometimes. Things.
Yeah. I will say his experience that day probably helped him yesterday, because it just didn't phase him.
Nothing phases this guy anymore. Unbelievable. Yeah. So he'll be talking. And how about after that, the rest of the day?
Yeah, the rest of the day is going to be back at the fairgrounds for the members of the NDFA. But keep in mind the trailer's open from noon till 7:30, and then there's entertainment down Main Street basically all day.
There is.
Yep. There's vendors and the bars are open, and it's just been.
And you guys are doing something pretty great for other firefighters. You have a DD service running around town.
Yep,
that's a great idea.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. We want guys to have the ability to come to Bowman and have a good time, and not worry about how they're going to get where they're going to go. So we've got a couple of buses provided by Van Dales that are driving around the community.
Excellent.
Plus we've got designated firefighters within the Bowman department that you just call the Bowman Fire Hall, and they'll route you wherever you need to go.
Do you have to be a firefighter?
No, not at all.
Oh man, That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Andy. I know you got to get going down, and everything starts at 8:00, and you got a long morning ahead of you. You had a long night last night. I appreciate your help and coming in, and thanks for letting me broadcast out at Piper's office.
You bet. Thank you.
You bet. Andy Murdoch. We'll have more coming up your way as we continue talking about that. Second half of the program, talking to a little bit of a fishing guide out of South Dakota, see how the fish are biting. We'll be back more on Dakota Prairie Outdoors after these messages.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust welcomes all contestants, families, and fans to Bowman for the North Dakota High School State Rodeo Finals. For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank. We've grown along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of offering modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. Dakota Community Bank and Trust, proud sponsor of rodeo, ranching, cowboys, the Cowboy Way, and of course, the North Dakota High School Rodeo Association.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods. the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Hi, this is Andy Murdoch with Piper's Auctioneers, hosting these incredible June live and online equipment auctions in Raleigh, Mercer, Lakota, and Cavalier, North Dakota, Pelican Rapids, Minnesota, and our quarterly Upper Midwest online-only auction. If you're in the market for reliable farm equipment, John Deere tractors, livestock equipment, trucks, trailers, vehicles, antiques, collectibles, guns, and ammo, or even a collectible 1948 Indian motorcycle, be sure to check out the complete inventories of these auctions and dozens of other land and equipment auctions at Pifers.com.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number 1 in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, broadcasting from the Piper's Auction and Real Estate Office in Bowman, North Dakota. Good to have you along here this morning in the air chair next to me here. Nevada Turbeville, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing well. So you're also with the Bowman Fire Department. What's your duties as the state convention is going on today?
So there was a lot of people, Andy's right-hand man, but I kind of took up care of a lot of stuff when that Andy needed me to, and I was in charge of promotion, was my committee, and
good.
All my duties. So I guess anything you've seen, I guess graphic wise on Facebook, the banners, the booklets, I kind of ramrodded that and put stuff together for that. So
how many years have you been serving as a volunteer firefighter?
I've been on Bowman for 1.5 years, and then I was on RAIM for like 4 years before that. So 5 years total.
The RAIM kick you off?
Not yet, but
who's over there? Alan.
Yep.
Yeah, when he came, you left, huh?
No.
I'm just giving Alan a hard time. So today, what kind of training do you guys usually go through, or updated training that firefighters go through? What do you have going on today?
Oh, like today specifically, or just
this weekend here? Yeah. Because
There,
I'm sure you guys get together and do some form of training.
yeah,
statewide,
this
don't you?
weekend isn't probably necessary, or there's not really any training that goes on. It's more kind of deciding what classes the NDFA needs to focus on as
Sure.
far as their curriculum of what they teach and train on throughout the year, whether it's at fire school or anytime a department does like a certification training, the NDFA has the curriculum for that each department has to follow. So like
Sure.
us, we're extrication because we're a rescue. So extrication certified is kind of our big certification training we do in Bowman. And the NDFA is actually kind of a national leader in the curriculum for extrication. There's some really good firefighters in North Dakota that put together that to make sure we're doing it safely and doing it right and as fastly as we can, because us in North Dakota specifically compared to pretty much anywhere else in the country is we're so rural and so far away. And they talk about the golden hour of everything from the time the call goes into 911 until they can get professional medical care. You know, they want it under an hour. So
Which is hard in this area.
Right. So North
Yeah.
Dakota fire departments, rescue squads need to be very, very efficient in what we do.
So how often as a fire department do you do some training here in town?
So we do a training every month at least,
Okay.
sometimes more depending on kind of what's going on and how we can fit it in. We have monthly trainings for sure. We try to do some regional trainings with Baker, Rame, Scranton, Amadon, Ludlow, if we can, if what we want to train on is, applicable to what they do.
So how scary is this dry weather we're having here? Near 100 degrees yesterday, or maybe it broke 100. I'm not even sure. It felt like it.
It was getting to be a long winter. We were mutual aid to Lemon. We went to Bison twice with trucks. We were mutual aid to Buffalo. We had a couple of our own here. So it was turning into be a long summer, or gonna be a long summer after the winter and spring we had. But thankfully the rain helped. But 100 degrees and wind doesn't take long. Grass dries out pretty fast.
Now you're in the agronomy side of things. You say you work for Southwest Ag. What's the optimism here for the farming side? Are they pretty much wrapped up the planting for the most part in this neck of the woods?
Yeah, planting's pretty much done. There's just a little scatter of corn and some sunflowers and maybe some forage stuff and cover crops to go in. Not much. The rain definitely helped put everybody in a positive mood.
It did.
The commodity prices are keeping them pretty positive also. So.
Well, if you have wheat or anything in the bin, it's positive. But if you
Right.
sold it last year, probably not so much, maybe.
Well, that's what they always say. Should have waited.
Should have waited for the extra dime and then sell it $1 less. So what do you got going on for, are people doing a lot of liquid fertilizer nowadays? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's predominantly what we sell. We sell egg liquid fertilizers. We just kind of think it's a little bit better and sustainable product. So, and it's really good for row crops, and we're starting to do some on some small grains.
Do you guys go out and custom spray?
No, we do not have custom applicators at our Bowman location. So we're just
Are you thinking
delivering.
about it? Maybe that's what you'd like to do, is just get in one of those high risers and head around the country.
No, that's a lot. That's a lot of acres and a lot of time.
A lot of time. So I gave you a hard time that SDSU, because I used to teach at SDSU.
Yep.
Beat NDSU Bison this year in football. You know that.
You know what they say about the sunshine on a dog's butt.
Oh, come on now. You're
No,
blaming it on COVID. No, everybody's
Right.
got to stop blaming things on COVID now.
Well, when you have a quarterback on the first round that didn't play his senior season, you're just not quite as good as everybody else anymore.
Well, how about the backup quarterback?
Well, I don't know. I probably don't follow it as close to be the expert on it.
I
but
don't either. Trust me. I'm just giving you a hard time
Right.
about it is all I'm doing. So what do you got planned? Any fishing, any hunting going on here for you this year? Did you get in a deer application that was due,
Yep, I got that
okay.
filled out. So
Good.
we'll see. Hopefully we get drawn. I filled out one out for my wife also. So maybe one or the other of us will get one.
Does she hunt much?
Not a lot, but it's the lottery. So you just got to at least try. And
Yeah.
if you don't get it, I mean, it's
Has
not
she
a big
hunted
deal.
before?
Yep. She's got a deer before. So,
So how do you get your wife, if somebody's listening and they're like, I'm not quite sure how to get my wife interested in hunting? Because a lot of people have a trouble with that. What's your tip?
I'm
Or is she
lucky.
just one of those that goes at it?
She'll
man?
kind of try anything. I'm not saying she's a big hunter by any means or really into that, but she likes to mess with making the jerky and the sausage and
Good.
cooking the steaks and roast. So I tell her, I was like, well, if we want that, you need to get a deer. So I guess that's kind of the way I went about it this year. But it's the first one she's drawn for a while. But
Yeah. What does she shoot for a rifle? What's she comfortable with?
I haven't decided yet to what I'm going to have her shoot. We built a 6.5 Creedmoor this winter, so maybe try to get her on the back of that, or the tried and true 243.
243 is like a go-to.
Remington, so
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. Everybody that that 243 is probably that, and a 270 seems to be like just the good old standards. If you're getting somebody into hunting and you want something accurate and not gonna, well, I don't think many of today's newer rifles really have that much kick anymore. It's not like the old school ones that blew your shoulder off.
Yeah, there's definitely a shift in the rounds that these manufacturers are developing and coming out with, for sure.
Are you running suppressed?
No, not yet.
You need to.
I want to.
Yeah. I wish I would have had that years and years ago. I wouldn't have a ringing in my left ear like I do right now. But yeah, suppressor. I don't know how hard it's going to be with this administration to get one, but fortunately, I got 2 of them now, so it's worth every penny of it. I'll tell you that.
We've been kind of messing around with some of these new AR-15 calibers, like that 6-arc that Hornady came out with. That kind of seems like it's going to be a cool little rig. I mean, something accurate for distance, but light, and I don't know. We'll see. I don't have it together yet, but working on it.
A lot of people look at the modern sporting rifle, or ARs, however you want to call them. People in it. AR stands for Armalite rifles, by the way, not automatic rifles, which everybody in the cities think they do. A lot of people are moving to that for hunting. What's your take on that? Why did you move? Why would you like to hunt with an AR platform over traditional rifle platform?
I guess for me, I kind of like the versatility of it. If you have a lower, you can have a couple different uppers for different calibers to kind of mess around with. Everyone's like, well, that's the cheaper way to do it. It's really not. I mean, when you really start putting them together, an upper
not cheaper
runs as much as a
regular
American bolt action.
Yeah.
I don't know. And honestly, it's kind of more of the self-defense avenue. You can have one gun to kind of do everything. I mean, not saying you can't self-defend with a bolt action or any gun for that matter, but
we could self-defend with these microphones in our hand if we wanted to.
Exactly. So I kind of like the AR thing, and it's fun to hunt down the pieces on the internet and gun shows and stuff and put them together, which you can with other bolt actions and stuff too. But
all the accessories you can buy for the AR platforms are fun.
Right.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, unbolt it and put it over here.
A set of punches is all you need to put an AR together.
Jamie Breck says, just bought my 4th suppressor this week, but he has to wait 10 months to use it. I'm sorry to say that, Jamie. Biden's going to take that away from you.
Well, I saw the gun club's doing a raffle for the new shooting range out here, and they're selling some raffle tickets, and there was a suppressor on there.
Excellent.
But I don't know if it's like a fast product. Like if you win the raffle, you have it right away, because it said all fees and taxes are paid already.
You will not get it right away. I'll guarantee that. Well, Nevada, we're up against the clock, man. Appreciate it, and we'll see you at the ceremony here coming up in a half hour.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot. More coming up your way here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Going to be catching up with Kevin Vaughn, South Dakota Fishing Guide, and the Black Hills area. We'll be checking in with him and seeing what's going on in Lake Ormond. Hopefully, he's actually fishing right now on the river. Hopefully, he's got enough service to take the call. We'll be back with more Dakota Prairie Outdoors right after these messages.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust welcomes all contestants, families, and fans to Bowman for the North Dakota High School State Rodeo Finals. For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank. We've grown along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of offering modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. Dakota Community Bank and Trust, proud sponsor of rodeo, ranching, cowboys, the Cowboy Way, and of course, the North Dakota High School Rodeo Association.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Hi, this is Andy Murdoch with Piper's Auctioneers, hosting these incredible June live and online equipment auctions in Raleigh, Mercer, Lakota, and Cavalier, North Dakota, Pelican Rapids, Minnesota, and our quarterly Upper Midwest online-only auction. If you're in the market for reliable farm equipment, John Deere tractors, livestock equipment, trucks, trailers, vehicles, antiques, collectibles, guns, and ammo, or even a collectible 1948 Indian motorcycle, be sure to check out the complete inventories of these auctions and dozens of other land and equipment auctions at Pifers.com.
Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, and Wilton.
Did you know that Dakota Community Bank and Trust was recently named North Dakota's best small bank in Newsweek's America's Best Banks 2021? According to Newsweek, from over 2,500 FDIC-insured institutions, we are amongst the nation's top banks to serve our customers' needs in today's challenging times, ranking number one in North Dakota. We invite you to come bank with us. Stop in today to your nearest Dakota Community Bank and Trust and see what being America's best small bank is all about.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Motrest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors, Saturday edition, all across the Dakota Territory. Heard on stations, KGFX in Pierre, South Dakota, KOLY in Mobridge, KFire 550 in Bismarck, KCJB in Minot, and KLTC in Dickinson, and around the world on my YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. On the phone line with me now, Mr. Kevin Vaughn, South Dakota Out Fishing Guide Outfitter Extraordinaire. How are you, Kevin?
Doing great, Scott. How about yourself?
Well, it's free fishing weekend today or this weekend in North Dakota. And not only that, the Cops and Kids Fishing Days in Harmony Lake, 6 miles north of Hazen from 10 to 2 today. I just got that message. So free fishing weekend. Why not? Oh, are you there, Kevin?
Yep.
Oh, there you are. There you are. So how's the fishing been in South Dakota and the Black Hills area?
Been a little slow. It's really starting to pick up now with these warmer temperatures, and fish are getting a lot more active, a lot more aggressive. We're definitely catching a lot more fish than we were a couple weeks ago. The bite is really starting to get hot out here.
And what's the water temperature in Ormond on average here right now?
Right now it's staying roughly between 58 and 60 degrees. Getting a little bit warmer with these hotter days. Yesterday we got up to about 65-degree water temperatures on the surface there, but it was about 95 degrees out all day yesterday. So
Yeah.
that water's starting to warm up. Them fish are really starting to turn on and get a lot more aggressive. Picking boat speeds up. They're hitting spinners and leeches really good right now. So, yeah, we're just getting into that really prime fishing time right now.
So what do you usually, if you're trolling here and you say you're picking up the speed, what are you going at about right now with the trolling motors?
Right now we're running about 0.8 to 1 mile an hour. With them bigger blades, we're running about 1.2, but like to stick right about that 1 mile an hour this time of year.
Where are you? Now you're on a boat right now fishing. Where are you at?
I am on the Missouri River right now, north of Chamberlain.
Okay.
We're up here fishing, just up a ways, I guess, from West Bend would probably be the most popular place that's close to me.
Excellent.
And that's about 8 miles away.
Okay. So what takes you over there? I mean, you're not guiding over there, are you? Or you're just over there for fun?
Yeah. We're having a little bachelor party, getting married in October. So we're having a little bachelor party, and we just decided instead of sitting around doing nothing, hanging out, we'd come up here and go fishing for the weekend. Going to go up to pier tonight and fish below the dam up in that fast water and see what we can do up there.
Excellent. That's a different type of bachelor party than the ones I'm used to going to. Usually we don't go fishing.
Oh, them other kind usually we end up waking up hurt, and I'd rather just wake up and go fishing, I guess.
Well, that's a good way of looking at it.
Must be getting old.
Oh, but no, it's smarter. You're not getting older. You're just getting smarter. That's how it is. Well, let's talk about Lake Pactola. I was talking to Andy Murnock here in the first part of the show, and he was down there trout fishing, and he got some great advice from an old timer that was sitting down there just catching one after another. Have you been down on Pactola yet this year? Heard any stories of how the fish are biting that way?
I've actually got a guy that works for me. He's kind of a local guy. He fishes lake trout down there constantly, and yeah, he's been having pretty good luck. I myself don't make it down there fish too much. Headed down there next weekend. We're gonna go camping, and I'm gonna try it a little bit. But yeah, I don't make it to the hills lakes too often.
Yeah, well, and Ormond's such a lot closer for you anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, lot closer.
Did you just get fish on? Is that what I heard in the background?
No, got my buddy and his boat, and they just pulled up here next to us.
Okay, maybe they're if they're listening to Pier, maybe they're listening to KGFX, and if anybody finds you on the river, you have to give them $100 bill.
Well, let's see if they can find me.
Yeah. Well, you already said where you kind of are, so they'll just have to go to each boat and see if they can find the Kevin Vaughn, man.
Right.
So what's the latest and greatest in new tackle? Is there anything really crazy different that you're trying out this year, or is
just kind of sticking with what works. This year we kind of have been. We tried out one of these bleeder rigs that you can pick up over at Allen's Bait Shop in Chamberlain there. Other than that, bottom bouncer with a spinner, just kind of sticking to what works. And we have been trying. We fished a couple tournaments early this year, and I had a guy turn me on to ripping wraps. And so,
what are those?
It's kind of like a lipless crankbait with rattles in it, and you just you cast it out, you kind of pop it back, and it vibrates real good. You really feel it on your line, and just kind of a lipless crankbait that you retrieve like a jig and a minnow. And we've been having really good luck on those early this spring when that water temperature was cold and then fish were, they were up real shallow, 2-3 feet of water. Up there trying to find something a little bit warmer and right on shore. And yeah, we just throw them almost right up on shore and pop them back to the boat. And we did pretty good. A lot of bigger fish on them, a lot of slots, a lot of overs. Not much for unders on them though.
Yeah. So on the Missouri River in South Dakota where you're fishing now, is there any slot limits that you got to watch out for there?
Yep. We can keep them. They got to be 15 and over, and then out of them 4 fish, 1 can be 20.
Over 20.
Yep.
So how many over 20s have you thrown back already?
None.
Come on.
We've been it's been right there 15, 16. The other boat does have a 21 in the live well, 2 20s and a 21. So we had a pretty nice one on. Inexperience may have lost it.
What is that? You're saying you're inexperienced, or
no,
somebody else in the boat?
One of the guys in the boat with me.
Oh no.
He was thinking, I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he thought he could just lift it up like it was a bass and throw it in the side of the boat. But
you know what he was thinking, Kevin? I'm going to tell you this right now. He's thinking, this isn't the bachelor party I signed up for.
Well, I'll guarantee you at 4 o'clock when we were yelling and getting everybody up, I'll guarantee you that's about what he was thinking.
This is not what I signed up for here, huh? Oh,
no, I think he was thinking sleeping in and something like that. And that didn't pan out very well.
So I have never been on the river north of Chamberlain up that way. Is the water moving pretty good, or is it kind of more of the lake style, like Lake Oahe type thing?
It's more lake style, like Lake Oahe. Especially where we're fishing, we're off the main channel of the river, kind of back in an inlet a little ways.
Sure. And so what are you using? Same thing? You're just pulling bouncers on this one, or are you guys pitching jigs out there in the river?
Oh, right now we're just pulling bottom bouncers with a single bead. I got a blood rig on, bleeder rig on, and then the rest of them just worm harness with a single bead, and picking them up here a little bit slow, but we're getting to work on them.
Well, the reason it's slow is they know you're doing a radio interview right now, so they're just waiting for you to get done so you don't have to drop your phone in the water while trying to reel one in and talk to me at the same time, which would be pretty fun.
Yeah, I'd go for that. I'm not dropping my phone in the water, but I'd go for reeling one in and talking to you at the same time.
I'd be interviewing the fish. So, so you've been hitting Ormond pretty hard this spring, or have you been trying other lakes around the areas?
No, we've been hitting Ormond pretty hard this spring. I've got another guy this year that's working with me, so we've been hitting it quite a bit. Go up early in the morning and fish quite a bit, trying to kind of show him my spots and a couple different things out there. And yeah, we've been going up 2-3 times a week at least hitting it.
And this on top of working at the sawmill?
This on top of working at the sawmill.
So here's the question that everybody's thinking. Why is lumber so darn expensive right now, Kevin? I mean, you must be rolling in the dough.
Yeah, whether they sell that board for $25 or $100, I make the same.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I really don't know why lumber's so expensive. There's no shortage of it. Not that I can see anyway. We're kicking out the same numbers we've always been kicking out. Why the price of lumber is so high, I really don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah. Well,
I know
maybe
down here they did cut some of our logging contracts this year.
Okay.
And the company I worked for actually had to close a mill, but that was strictly due to the government cutting logging contracts. They just couldn't cut enough logs to keep both mills running.
Yeah. Well, I think this administration might be a little bit tough on everything that we do in North and South Dakota. I mean, from coal to oil to logging and everything. I think it might be a little bit on the challenging side. Maybe that's why we're just going to go fishing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good time in life to just go fishing and not turn on a TV or a radio or
Hey, now.
anything. Well, listen to the news or the propaganda media.
There we go. Well, I'm going to push it the other way, push people into to the fishing side. So last year during COVID, how did that affect you and your guiding, or did it not affect you one bit?
Yeah, it affected us, but it affected us a little different than everybody else. We were as busy as we've ever been since I've opened the doors to the business. We were booked up solid. Everybody from all them other states that couldn't leave their houses or go outside and do anything were coming here, and they were wanting to go fishing, and we did our best to get them all on the water.
So what's the furthest away from South Dakota that you've guided somebody, or where they're from?
God, there's been Florida, Texas, had a couple guys from Alaska, New York, everywhere.
Good. I'm glad it's going well for you. I'm really glad about that. We just how many times have you updated boats now? 3 times since I
times now.
Since I first started talking to you. Yeah.
Yep. We started out with the old Starcraft, and then we upgraded to the Lund, and now we are fishing out of a brand new Crestliner we just bought a couple months ago.
Excellent. Well, that's a good deal. It's good to see things like that happening, and it's nice for me because I can just call you and get all the tips, and you can show me where to go.
Right.
See how easy that is?
Yeah, and then when you come down, we just go jump in the boat and I'll show you.
Yeah. Well, what we have this planned in July, don't we? You and I we're going to do some fishing. I already got the date set up with you and booked you ready here for July, so I'm looking forward to that. And where are you going to take? Where are you going to take us? Are we going to hit Orman?
We're going to go up to Orman and fish Orman. See how that goes for us. Hopefully it ain't too hot that time of year yet. Hopefully it gets a little more rain and stays kind of cool, and we'll just go from there. If it'll stay cool, we'll be able to pull crankbaits and troll some bottom bouncers, and if it gets hot and them fish go deep, we might have to tie on the jigging wraps and ripping wraps and see if we can get down deep and get them to hit.
I like it. I'm hoping that I have to cancel because there's so much hay to make, but I think that's not going to be happening. So.
Yeah.
So there's another thing.
As much as I hate to say, I hope so too. I'd love to get you on the boat, but boy, you don't get some grass cut to feed them cows, it's going to make for a rough winter.
It is going to be tough. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll have to take up fish guiding or something like that. I hear that's a pretty good business.
Yeah, except for then again in the winter it gets a little tough.
It's hard to do that underwater fishing there, huh? I guess.
Yeah, not too many people want to go ice fishing, it seems like, and the people that do, they already fish around here. And said a lot of the people I take out, they're from out of state and kind of more of a tourist season type hours, and in the winter we don't get a lot of calls. We get a few, but it's not enough that I can quit the sawmill anytime soon.
No, you got to keep that job. I need my in when I build a calving barn. I need an in for lumber, and I know you get it at cost, so I'll just buy it through you.
I can get you some tongue and groove.
That's pretty fancy calving barn is what you want me to build, is what you're saying.
Well, we actually, we get our employee discount, so it ain't really that much for us.
Good. Well, that's good. Well, if people have questions or comments, they want to get in touch with you and get onto the fishing boat, how do they get in touch with you?
You can look us up at Wild Walleye Outfitters on Facebook. You can Google fishing South Dakota in the Black Hills, walleye fishing in the Black Hills. We got a Google business page, and you can just call me direct at 605-519-4286. Heck, if you're headed up to the lake and just want a fishing report, give me a call. Hey, Kev, right behind you.
Or you got fish
give me a-
on?
We got a fish on.
Finally, we got one live on the radio.
Yeah, well, maybe. Is it still on, or did you miss it? Oh,
The suspense is killing us.
we missed it.
Oh. There you
Dad's
go.
got to get back and show these boys how to set a hook.
Well, you were just about to say if people have questions about fishing reports, you can do that too.
Yep, give me a call up. Send me a text message me on Facebook. I try and put out a post every week or something on the Facebook page for those that follow that. Water temp, kind of what's working, boat speeds, just leeches, crawlers, just kind of what's working for us and what we've been catching fish on. And yeah, if people got questions or what they're biting on, boat speed, any of that kind of stuff, give us a call. We'll answer your questions, and heck, there's enough fish in that lake for everybody to catch one. So
What was that phone number again?
605-519-4286.
All right, perfect. Well, Kevin, I always appreciate any time you have and for taking time while you're sitting actually on the boat. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I can use my hotspot on my phone when I'm fishing with you on that Saturday morning to do my program live from the boat. Wouldn't that be fun? If not, you and I got to find a place with some internet speed.
That would be fun. If we can't do it live from the boat, we can always do it from right up at the bait shop there.
Oh,
5 minutes from the lake. Right up there at the Wheel-In Bait Shop with Hawk and Jan. They're great couple. They've been running that bait shop for 15 plus years now. That's where I get all my bait from, everything. Just a great little mom and pop bait shop right there by the lake. Really take care of a guy. They go out of their way to help you out with anything.
well, I tell you what, you contact them and ask them if I can plug into their internet, and if I can do that, we'll do it from their shop and have a little fun with them.
Sounds great. Yeah, Jan would love to see it on the radio. It'd be a fun little time.
Okay. Well, hey, Kevin, I'll let you get back to fishing. Thanks for coming on the program.
Sounds great, Scott. You have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon.
You bet. Thanks a lot. Kevin Vaughn, Wild Walleye Outfitters is the place to go. Check them out, and you can just Google them as well, and you'll find more information just by going online and checking that out too. So that's a wrap here for another show. I appreciate everybody tuning in here this morning and having a great time. It is State Fire Convention, so that's what's happening here, and that's where I'm headed to next. Here as we go to the Bowman High School, and that's what's on the agenda for today. If you want to find what's going on in the state convention, and if you're around the Bowman area, make sure to check out the 9/11 Tribute semi-trailer. It's pretty awesome. Thanks for tuning in today. Have yourself a great weekend. Free fishing weekend in North Dakota. Eat some meat, drink some milk. Enjoy. Stations, thank you. YouTube watchers, thank you. You guys have yourself a great day. I got to get rolling.